Welcome into the Corona Post Show, day 2 here at Punta Roca in El Salvador, and it is as beautiful as it looks. Both the waves, the environment, the surfing, everybody brought the heat today, and as they should, with spots on finals day on the line. Some fantastic surfing. We're going to get you the highlights here in just a minute. I'm AJ McCord alongside Peter Mel, Felicity Palmatier. You guys, big day for the second day in a row. Pete, what stood out to you about the way the surfers adapted to that?
I knew you were going to ask me that question, and wow, I had to start thinking of all the moments. I mean, I'm going to just kind of stick into the Liam O'Brien factor, because he was clutch today, and he was somehow figuring out how to get it done with 15 seconds on the clock. He did it in his first heat, was able to do it again here in this last heat. I mean, some gifts were given to him, but also you know, if that you get those moments, he was able to execute there, so I like what he did.
What a way to end it, with some drama, some excitement. Felicity, what about for you?
Yeah, I've got to say Liam as well. I just loved his performances today. He had a really hard heat coming up against Ethan, and it was just, really similar surfing, really hotly contested. Came out on top there and then did it again this afternoon. So, yeah, I loved it.
An incredibly impressive performance by Liam O'Brien. Let's go check in with the man who just punched his ticket to finals day. Liam is with Mitchell Salazar.
And an important result, too, the last standing Australian. You're into the semifinals lobby. Congratulations, first of all. But Barron actually let you go on the 4.87 that you got. What were you thinking at the moment when you stood up and needed a score right at the end?
Oh, yeah, it wasn't the greatest wave, and it looked like there was a few more at the back, but I felt like that was just going to be my last chance. So I just was like, I'm going either way. And, yeah, luckily it was just enough.
A significant moment when you came into, you were greeted by your fellow Australians, Connor, Ryan, and of course Callum Robson, who lost earlier today too. What kind of significance do you take out of those moments?
Oh yeah, it's so special to walk up to your friends after surfing a heat. Those guys are so cool, and they've always supported me. So yeah, I support them when they do well, and they do the same for me. So it's pretty cool.
You matched your best result on the CT so far, at least a semifinal finish guaranteed. But the meaningful moment, a victory for the Aussies, and especially moving up in the rankings. What can we expect from you into finals day now?
Hopefully I can keep making at least another heat, but I'm just going to stick with sort of what I was doing and trying to select the best waves and see if that works out tomorrow. Obviously, yeah, Griffin's been ripping, and it's going to be a tough heat, but no, I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Congratulations. See you tomorrow.
Cheers, Mitch. Thank you.
Thanks, Mitch. Nothing's broke, so why fix it? For Liam O'Brien, he did exactly what he needed to do today in order to make sure that he punched that ticket.
It's so even-keeled, right? I mean, even in those moments, there's not really a whole lot of excitement out of him. He just kind of even-keeled, and it kind of comes in his personalities as he surfs as well. So I love it. I like his chances tomorrow, although I will say he's up against Griffin Colapinto, which has been on point as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be definitely a heat to watch. Griff has been absolutely on fire. I mean, we saw his last heat then, dropping 2 great waves. And it's got Liam's got a hard matchup, but I've loved the surfing that I've seen from him. He's silky smooth, sort of similar, I think, to Griff a little bit. So, yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
No better way to figure out if they do have similar styles than put them right up against each other. So let's take a look at the top 10, our men's leaderboard coming into this event.
Wow.
And my goodness, just 2 remain out of the top 10 coming into this event. Griffin Colapinto in that yellow leader jersey, trying to do everything he can to prove that it deserves to be on his back for another event. And then Filipe Toledo, who is just, talk about silky smooth surfing. He has done it this entire competition.
Yeah, he really has. I think it's just, for me, it's amazing that Griff has, come off the back of that win from the Surf Ranch, maintained that fire here. He's still sitting in that #1 position. He's made it all the way through to the semifinals. He was the previous winner here at this event last year. So just so much momentum, and I am loving it.
Looking at this graphic, for me, it just goes to showcase that all of those guys are out of the top 10, and now you're thinking about who's going to get themselves into that final 5.
Absolutely. Let's take a look before we talk about that, about Griffin Colapinto and how he got to finals day against Connor O'Leary in this quarterfinals heat.
Well, it's searing carves, it's fin releases. He's got such a healthy mix of all types of surfing, and he can go to the air. So that's why he's wearing that yellow jersey, is that he has all of it. He's got the game. He's good in the big waves. I mean, he'll go when it comes to pipeline, when it comes to chopo. So he's world champion material. He is yet to get that chance but I know that he doesn't want to lose it. He has mentioned how much he wants to own this yellow jersey, and right now he's keeping it.
Yeah, if he gets the chance to surf in this final 5, you know, it is at his home break lowers, so you can only imagine the damage that he's going to do here. He came up against a really hard competitor though. Connor O'Leary was just looking on fire on his backhand, surfing so critically, and yeah, just precision timing on his backhand here. So it wasn't an easy win.
No, it wasn't. You know, and you'd seen a few more opportunities. You could have seen, I think, Connor really give it a good go. It was at the end of it. There was, you know, it didn't need a huge number. He had matched the numbers that Griffin had put there. It just didn't have 2 of them.
Connor surfing his way to 4 quarterfinal finishes in his last 5 events. So a lot of consistency lately for Connor O'Leary. Certainly we'll look to build off of that in Rio at the next stop. But taking a look at these 2 semifinals we have coming up on the men's side, you have Ian Gentile against Filipe Toledo, and then Griffin Colapinto against Liam O'Brien.
How funny would it be to see Liam and Ian into the final just randomly, because obviously the defending champion and the finalist as well from last year are still in this contest. You know, you'd think, you know, odds are those 2 would make it into the final, but hey, this things like destiny kind of seems to be working for those lower seeds.
Ian Gentile in particular is someone we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show, but Felicity, for you, what are you looking forward to about those semifinal matchups?
I've just got to echo what Pete said. I think, you know, the underdogs, the lower seeds coming through up against the previous last year's finals.
Call them favorites, really,
exactly.
right? I mean, those are the favorites for sure. And so, hey, weird things happen.
Yeah. I kind of want to see it. I want to see the underdogs in the final.
Will it to happen?
Well, I'll tell you what, if on the men's side we are wondering how far the underdogs can go today, the veterans on the women's side proving they're not going anywhere. Let's take a look at Stephanie Gilmore against Molly Picklum. I caught up with Pickles after this heat, and she said, I got goated by Stephanie Gilmore.
Well, and I will say that Steph hasn't looked this good for a long, and except for the day that she won her world title. And really, that was where you saw her confidence build through the day and get that win. That was a while, but she's come here and she looks so good. Little equipment change, I believe that's where we're seeing the extra flair come from them. But I think with that little equipment change and that flair, she's gained a ton of confidence. And a confident Steph Gilmore is really hard to beat.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think Steph, you know, when I think about her, it's speed, power, grace, flow, everything that looks amazing on right-hand point break. She comes from snapper, so she's just sharpening up her blades here, heat after heat. But Molly says she got goated, but she did drop 2-7, so she did give Steph a run for her money. So I think Steph saying in her post-game interview that she draws a lot of experience from coming up against these younger surfers. So yeah, Steph looking inspired.
And on the other side of the semifinals bracket, we have Carissa Moore taking on Caroline Marks. Of course, Carissa in that yellow leader jersey, looking to get another trophy as well here in El Salvador. She's going up against Caroline Marks, and then Steph is going to have Tyler Wright.
Yeah, and this one, I mean, you've got a bunch of experience there. Matter of fact, all 4 of those competitors very experienced. I mean, the least of it would be Caroline Marks, being that she's so young, but she's had a lot of semis. She's had a finals. She's had wins, so a very experienced semifinal matchup.
Oh, I'm excited for the Tyler v. Steph matchup, really. I mean, there's a lot of world titles sitting there, and I think, for me right now, I think Steph might have a little bit of a jump just coming from a point break herself. Tyler seems to like these bigger, more meteor waves where she can really lay the board on rail. We'll just have to see what the Surfline forecast, how that develops, how the rest of the week develops, if we run tomorrow or not. But it's looking like it's going to be good.
I mean, you teed us up perfectly, Felicity, because it is now time for the Surfline forecast. Let's take a look. Professor Pete, you got your glasses on. I want to know what you think about these next few days.
Okay, so this is the swell we've been running off of. You can see it right there, and I had talked about the Galapagos shadow. It is actually there. There's a couple islands that set it up, but ultimately we do have some stuff later in the week, but it's not very strong. So I think that Travis Logie, looking at tomorrow in clean conditions. We only have probably 3.5 hours of competition to go, so big chance that we could be running tomorrow. There was the rumors and whispers that I was hearing, but if we move out later in the week, we will get a slight bump there all the way out to like Thursday. We'll see kind of similar conditions in regards to what we've seen the last couple days. But fingers crossed. I think that the momentum is going. I think that say the competitors would probably say thumbs up. If there's enough surf tomorrow, we'll most likely be finishing.
Absolutely, carry it forward.
Oh, I agree with what you said. Thinking at it from a competitive aspect, you want to keep that momentum going. You don't want to go on hold for 3 to 4 days. If you do, it's almost like reset, new contest.
Exactly. It's like a whole new event. Really, it's crazy.
So we'll see. We will have that call tomorrow morning, 6:15 a.m. local time here in El Salvador. And in the meantime, if we do happen to go on some lay days, it's just such a beautiful country. And I know the three of us have had a great time. Our whole crew has, getting a chance to experience the beauty, the nature, all of it in El Salvador, and WSL One Ocean wanting to make sure that we do our part to clean up and beautify the areas that we come into. Take a look at what we've done here.
I like this project because it's been a lot to me. Like I grew up here, take care about our place and do that thing to the river is super special.
WSL One Ocean is a global initiative to inspire our surf community to protect and conserve our one ocean. Today we are joining forces in El Salvador with Paso Pacifico and Oriente Salvaje to protect El Salvador's well-known rivers from impacts of plastic pollution.
Together with WSL Pure, we are launching a campaign nationally to change human behaviors around plastic consumption and the use of single-use plastics.
These river interceptor devices are very important because we have to stop plastic pollution before it reaches the ocean.
Así que estamos muy contentos con esta alianza. Obviamente la WSL también nos ha estado apoyando en esto y por eso te digo, hemos estado haciendo esto todo el año, lo queremos hacer constante, no solo colocar estas riobardas aquí en Punta Chilama, donde está nuestra querida ola de oro, que es Punta Roca, sino que en toda la zona costera de Surf City, que son más de 70 spots buenos para surfear, porque si no cuidamos nuestra ola, ya no vamos a tener más surf.
We are planning to accumulate 40 tons of plastic. We are also employing local community to get involved in this so that we can reduce this plastic going to the sea.
The campaign Esto es tuyo, which means this is yours. So we are trying to create empowerment of the community that this belongs to them, so it's important to take care of it.
As surfers, the ocean is our playground and our stadium. Together, we are leveraging the sport of surfing to achieve long-term ecosystem conservation.
If you can do something when you visit all the beaches, then do. It's very important for you to know that you're not only working or doing something in a beautiful beach, but in a beautiful community as well, and it can generate a great impact.
Para mí es súper especial estar participando en estas cosas así porque a mí me interesa bastante estar ahí porque me gusta limpiar el mar.
Show us what you're doing to protect our One Ocean by posting on social media with the hashtag WSL One Ocean and tagging WSL and WSL One Ocean in your posts. New look, same mission.
After a day like today, I always wonder how on earth is our crew going to take 10 plus hours of great surfing and nail it down to 5 moments, but that's what we're going to try to do now. Are you guys ready?
Let's do this. I'm ready.
Let's do it. Moment number 5 of our top 5, Baron Mamiya taking down that man, Gabriel Medina.
This was a crazy one. I mean, obviously, Gabriel in form these days, and this man, knowing this was going to be a tough draw, he made it happen. A couple little errors by Gabriel Medina, and this man pounced on it, and he's found himself into that quarterfinal, but wasn't good enough at the end of it all, but I loved that number 5 moment.
And moment number 4, Filipe Toledo looking like he is in top form, Felicity.
Yeah, absolutely, with an 8.83 and backing it up with an 8.67. That is 2 massive heat totals there. And with maneuvers like that, there is no wonder. I mean, just look at the way this guy surfs. People say it all the time. It's just like a video game. I mean, how was that turn there? It was like a combination of 2 maneuvers, like a lip line to a fin blow, and then just so much progression, straight air there. I just love to see it. It's kind of like, a video game. what do you want to do next? Just beautiful surfing.
Speaking of beautiful surfing, let's talk about Stephanie Gilmore. She is on to the semifinal. Gilmore's greatness trying to repeat what she did last year.
Sizzling form, you know, and this is, again, just look like she's having a ball, and it carries over in her personality. She's hanging out all day long. She was in the Red Bull Athlete Zone till the very end of the day, supporting the other Aussies. But with surfing like this, she has a great chance to go back-to-back here. She's trying to fulfill destiny like she did last year, where she was in that 7th position on the rankings and now moving into that final 5.
And moment number 2, the man from Maui is on a mission. Ian Gentile onto his first semifinal.
Yeah, I have absolutely loved everything I've seen from Ian in this event. I mean, we've always known he's had the talent there, but he's really made things happen in this contest, taking out Jack Robinson, Zhao Chianca, now Italo Ferreira. Just beautiful, silky smooth surfing, and on his way to the semis.
Speaking of silky smooth, Carissa Moore, my goodness.
More magic, and she has made it look very easy. I mean, her last heat, everything was working for her. She just paddled out by herself. She had the lead, and all of a sudden there's another 9-point wave coming right at her. I mean, one of the biggest sets of the day happens, and she's already had a perfect, or not a perfect score, but an excellent heat score, and all of a sudden she just got this big bomb, got a 9, and actually made it a 17, the highest of the event so far. So she is in that magic form. More magic. I love it.
So looking ahead, of course, we are on to our finals day. When that's going to be, we will find out. But what do you guys want to see these surfers build upon from some of these top 5 moments that we've seen, not just today, but throughout the competition? What do you want to see them build upon?
Look, I mean, we've seen some excellent surfing today. And look, I guess Carissa's thrown down a 9. I mean, a 10 would be great. Why not?
Higher, faster, more extreme.
Yeah.
Right? We demand the best from the best.
Pedal to the metal. It's
right?
finals day.
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
Okay. Well, we will find out if tomorrow is, in fact, finals day. 6:15 call, local El Salvador time. Thank you for joining us for day 2 at the Corona Post Show. We'll see y'all in the morning.
City El Salvador Pro, it's on.
Here we go, live action up back.
With priority, Tyler Wright on a beautiful looking set wave.
Pickles off the bottom, carves. Gabrielle O'Brien winding up, slashing through that turn.
We're going to switch over to the men for round of 16.
Slashing turn for Filipe Toledo, throwing everything at it. Here we go, Panoa bashes the lip there, a little bit of release, purchases on the fin.
Connor O'Leary ringing the bell on his backhand. Big dash to finish there. That's power surfing.
Liam O'Brien zooming off the bottom, slashing off the top.
Get excited. It's quarterfinals time.
Toledo. Talk about Toledo.
Holy moly, Toledo.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.